I started the books because I wanted to do something creative. I've got a bit of a itch that needs scratching, and I wanted to make something for my boys that was a bit of a keepsake, and it was personal. And I've always told them silly stories in bed, and I just thought it'd be really nice to get it down on paper and give them something. I've talked to a lot of parents, and I thought actually these books are a really good opportunity to deal with serious subjects that parents find difficult to talk about, and try and express these and get a conversation started with books that are fun and silly and breaks the ice, basically.
So have you ever done any writing before or anything, or was this just your first kind of gig?
I've never done any writing before. I come from a design background, so I went to uni and studied furniture design, and I worked for a design company for a bit. And then after that, I had various jobs, and my wife set up a childcare company that just ended up snowballing into this childcare business that's now called The Snug, and I gave up my job, and then I was heavily involved in that, and I guess that's influenced the books as well. So along with my design background and running the childcare company with my wife, it's kind of merged into the outcome of these books. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago, when my boys were still in nappies, I had the idea of writing a book about their nans as a little bit of a keepsake and a Christmas present. And then this developed into the new ideas about the willies. So it's been probably about 3 years ticking along in my head. And then it's probably in the last couple of years that I've been drawing it and perfecting it. And it's in the last 6 months that I've come up with like a final product. So the first one was That's My Willie. So that's dealing with safeguarding issues, where the boys where it's appropriate to sort of explore themselves, how to look after themselves, keeping them safe. Keeping them clean, keeping them healthy. And then when I finished that book, publishers came to me and said, oh, actually, we'd really like a girls book as well, which I was a bit nervous about because I don't have any girls. But I worked with a consultant down here called Mandy, and we actually discussed that the main issue with girls at the moment, as well as all the other things I talked about with the boys book, is that we don't know what to call it. As a society, really. Everyone's got their own family names for girls' genitals, and they all call it a foof or a flower. And we actually thought, as a way of safeguarding these kids in the future, it's actually really important for those kids to know what their genitals are called from the start. So this is a book, it's called What's Down There, because it's quite often in the past we refer to make sure you wash down there, and we just wanted to address the mystery behind it, and then in the book address the fact that vulva, vagina, and try and install it in those kids at an early age.
Tell me about the characters in the book.
Okay, so we've got Fred and Woody, who are based on my little tornado of sons. Then we've got Big Nan and Poo Pops, who are the grandparents. We've got Stevie, who's the main star in What's Down There. She's their female cousin. And then we've got Bear, who thinks he's a dog, but he's actually a bear. And then we've got Martha, the turtle, who's like an omnipresent character who's like I put in there as a little game for the kids to play so they can try and find Martha on every page. There's been a couple of reviews done by sort of editors that we've brought it out to. There's been a bit of confusion, I think, over why we haven't used the title, used the name of the girls' parts in the title, what we did with the boys. And it was basically because there's not really a girl equivalent to Willie. And we wanted to, the whole reason for What's Down There is to address the mystery behind what we call it, and to get people talking about it and make sure that these kids are learning properly what their parts are called. I've already written a couple of other books. The one that deals with sexuality and relationships and all the different shapes and sizes that they can come in. And another book that is about Fred and Woody's awesome nan and their family and how we deal with bereavement and how we talk about losing someone to kids. Yet again, it's just talking about really hard-hitting subjects, but addressing it in a really sort of fun and silly way that kids can sort of engage with. The book's come out on the 31st of October, but if you'd like a little sneak preview, you can head over to my Instagram account where we've got lots of pictures and spreads of all the characters involved in the books.